Okay, so this is a video to help some people out on YouTube, since I've been helped a lot from YouTube. So this is a W204 Mercedes, specifically a 2008 C300 with the V6 engine. So if you're having an issue where the car cranks but doesn't start, right? Let me put the key in. So you put your key in, it's on, but there's no shift indicator, okay? Even though you're in park, there's no shift indicator to show which gear, as in the square is not around, nothing. And the light on your shift column is off. Also, the car won't start. It'll crank, but it won't start. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It won't crank, okay? So the car is not cranking. It's not cranking, you know, the dash is on. And sometimes what may happen, you'll be driving and your temperature gauge will just cut off, or the car will flicker, temperature gauge drop, shift box or shift square disappears, etc. Okay, so in this case, no shift square, no light on the shifter, doesn't crank, nothing, okay? If you take a basic scanner or even something like an Autel and you connect it, it won't sense your ECU. It's not talking to the ECU. It's not sensing that it's there. One of the first things to check is your CAN bus, okay? These W204s with the sunroof, the drains become clogged and they tend to pool water up in here. Check your CAN bus. Clean them, inspect them, clean them, corrosion and water, okay? If that doesn't fix it, this is what you check next. Sometimes you'll check your front SAM, okay? But before you get into your front SAM, because what happens is it does get affected by water when it rains. What the thing you're supposed to check before this front SAM is to pull off the plastics and check the power going to the ECU. In this case, I have a ME 9.7. I would check my pins 2, 15 and 16, 2 for ground, 15 and 16 for hot or 12 volts, and 54 and 41 for CAN information. In this case, CAN voltage, that's around 2.5 to 3.5 volts. So if I'm following the pinout correctly, you see there, ME 9.7. If you're getting power and voltage where you're supposed to, in this case, I have ground at pin 2, okay? I have positive 12 volts at pins 15 and 16, yes. I'm also getting CAN information at 41 and 54 between 2.5 to 3.5 volts. It's getting the powers, then we know, obviously, it's the ECU. So in some cases, if you have a extra ECU lying by that's the same, or you can borrow one to swap to double check, right? But if you're brave enough, you know, you can actually open up your ECU. You actually have to, if you don't have a specific tool to stretch the lid while heating it up, you can use other methods, but there's glue along the seams, okay? So after you remove the screws, there's actually glue. So you have to use a heat gun while using positive pressure, but not too much to pry this up, okay? Once done correctly, you'll end up taking this up. Then you would inspect the board, the top part, right? Inspect the top part of the board, and sometimes you will see the damage very easily. In this case, I can see some damage in this area, right? And so what you want to do is remove the extra screws, okay? That allows you to take up the entire ECU board. And then you check the back. And so when you check the back, you're looking for damages as well, right? And in my case, I end up in the seam area of the capacitor. Okay, see all the dielectric. All right, so the capacitor has failed in this case. Now, the good thing is that's a common problem, I think, after 10,000 hours or something like that. If you look up the specs on the capacitor, okay, check the specs. I think that's 50 volts, 220 pico, I think it's picofarads, right? If you put in the right specs for it, you'll realize that there are sites dedicated to selling these items, okay? ECU repair capacitor from Mercedes ME 9.7, which is mine, with the M72 engine, okay? And if you read the faults that you can get, all right, it says symptoms that are cured with this part. So when the capacitor fails, your ECU becomes dead. No communication, okay, which means a scanner won't be able to talk to it. At that point, your ECU must be replaced. Sometimes when it starts, you fail to get an O2 related codes and they misfire. So in this case, replacing this capacitor should allow our ECU to come back to life. So once this is cleaned up and replaced well, you'll be able to solve your problem. And for those who are not brave enough to remove a capacitor, there are videos online. Shout out to EcoBoot, who shows you how to check a ECU, a dead ECU, in a Mercedes W204. Shout out to Electro Bias, who shows you how to remove a capacitor in a circuit board. And that's pretty much all you need to get it done. And once that is done, you can clean the surface, power it back up, car runs, then you're good to go. Seal everything up and the job is done. I just finished soldering a new one in, and you'll notice there's going to be a size difference. And what you should have learned in one of those videos is that these capacitors are polarized. You can tell the polarization specifically by the black, right? And underneath it has a flat side and a curved side, okay? Always look and take note of the orientation before you remove the old one. So the old one was like this, black facing that way, flat side that way, curved this way, right? You will notice that when you get a new one, it's smaller. Same rating, but smaller. That's because Moore's law, okay, predicts that as technology gets better, they will be more compact. So this is from a 2008, which probably means they was using this technology from before that. We're now in 2026. That's what, 18 years ago? So the technology has gotten better where it can do the same work, but take up less space and be more efficient. So don't worry about the size. That's just technology. You know, they always get half the size of what they were before to do the same amount of work. So I'm about to put the top on. Okay, we're going to do a test. So before sealing it up, we're going to do a test. But you have to put the top on because these goes into the engine upside down. So we're going to put the top on, do a quick test to make sure. The battery may be dead because it's pretty cold and it was off for a very long time, for weeks, waiting on this capacitor. So we'll put the top on and then we will see if we got the box over the gear and the shifter having light. Okay, so it's back in. It's back in the car. And we're going to check now on the dash. So back in the car, key. We're going to put the key in the ignition. Oh, I have the battery disconnected. One moment. Okay, so we're back. Get the key. So we're looking for a light here when we turned it on, and the shift selector with the box. Key is in. Okay. First, second. You see that? Now we have the box. The box is over the S and it's over the P. We get a red here. The battery is low. It may not crank. It may not crank, but the battery is low. But it should start, as in start to crank if the battery has enough juice. Whoop, see? So the battery's too low to finish, so we know we're good to go. So hopefully, if you have the same problem as me and you're well equipped and brave enough to get that deep into an electronic device, go through all the steps first, check your CAN bus, check all of those stuff, and then proceed to the ECU to do the surgery. And that's it. You save yourself thousands of dollars from buying a new ECU, getting it cloned, getting it put in, you know. So hopefully this helps. I've gotten help from YouTubers and people that post on YouTube, you know, since there was a YouTube. And I think, you know, it's about time that I give back, and I had this opportunity to give back, and that hopefully someone out there sees this and is grateful like I was to many YouTubers that helped me out by posting videos about their problems. So each one help one, and I hope it helps somebody and they make a video about something else to help somebody. All right? Okay, guys. Take care. I'd say this, boy. This was a lot of work. This is a lot of work, bro. This was plenty of work. Troubleshooting. And now we running. That was work, King. That was work.